Okay, so just imagine this. The setting is, it's the absolute definition of claustrophobic. You're locked in a room, no windows.
Right.
The lighting is super dim, almost industrial. You know, it's casting these long, creepy shadows. And on one of the walls, there's a glowing red LED timer. It reads 59.59.
And it starts ticking down.
Exactly. And, you know, usually this is the setup for a fun night out, right? A team-building exercise. You grab some friends, solve a few riddles about, I don't know, a mad scientist.
Or a haunted library, find a key, and then you all go get tacos. It's supposed to be low stakes.
Totally. Recreational stress. But in the source material we're looking at today, the vibe is, well, it's entirely different.
Oh, completely. The three people inside this room,
Yes.
Sarah, Dave, and Tom, they are not laughing. Sarah's sweating. Dave is physically shaking. And Tom is literally screaming at the locked door.
They're terrified.
Absolutely terrible.
Because they think they're there for a 30th birthday party. They think they're playing a game. But what we're finding in this deep dive is they've walked into what is, I mean, it's basically a psychological torture chamber designed by one man.
And the twist that really gets you, the man, the birthday boy, the narrator of our story, he's not even in the room with them.
No, he's in the control room, sitting comfortably, eating popcorn and watching them on CCTV monitors.
He calls himself the game master, and what he's set up here, it's not a game. Not really. It is a systematic, just brutal dismantling of 3 lives in under 60 minutes.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're unpacking the escape room of truth, which is this fascinating and frankly kind of terrifying case study in revenge. We're not just telling a story about a bad birthday. We're looking at how one man found out he was surrounded by a, what's his phrase, a circle of snakes.
That's it. And instead of, confronting them with a lawyer or just a big screaming match, he decided to play a game.
And what makes this deep dive so rich is the strategy. Because usually when someone finds out about this level of betrayal, we're talking infidelity, embezzlement.
Yeah, all of it.
The reaction is immediate. It's hot-blooded. It's chaotic. But this narrator, he took a step back. He got detached. He turned his trauma into a logic puzzle.
He essentially applied game theory to his own divorce. It's wild.
It is wild.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we want to break down. How do you get from my life is falling apart to I'm going to rent a facility to psychologically destroy my enemies? So let's set the stage, the players. We have the narrator. He's the husband, the business owner.
Okay.
Then inside the room, we have Sarah, his wife, Dave, his brother, and Tom, his business partner. So on the surface, this is a really tight-knit group, family and business all mixed together. But underneath, as the source material shows, it was a total sham. And I think the first key thing here is about pattern recognition.
The narrator says the suspicions started slowly. It wasn't one big smoking gun at first. It was just data points. Tom's company, which the narrator co-owned, was losing money, even with good revenue.
Okay, that's a red flag.
A huge one. Then, Sarah, his wife, had become really distant emotionally, and Dave, his own brother, was suddenly buying these super expensive watches he definitely shouldn't be able to afford.
And see, most people would look at those things in isolation. That's that boiling frog thing,
Well,
right? You think, oh, business is having a bad quarter, or my wife's just stressed.
We rationalize, but our narrator, he starts connecting the dots. He refuses to rationalize, and he hires a private investigator. He goes full detective mode.
Wow.
And the report that comes back is just catastrophic. It's what creates that circle of snakes image for him. The PI confirmed everything. Tom wasn't just bad at business. He was actively stealing from the company to fund a gambling habit.
So there's the money leak.
Yeah.
Classic embezzlement. That's bad, but
Yeah.
it's business.
Right, but it gets way more personal really fast. Sarah, the wife, was having an affair. And not just with anyone. She was seeing Dave, the narrator's own brother.
Your wife and your brother. That's just a double betrayal. It's almost Shakespearean.
It is, but wait, there's a third layer? Because these things weren't happening in a vacuum. They were all connected.
How so?
Well, this is where the circle really clicks. Dave knew that Tom was stealing money, but instead of telling his brother, the narrator, Dave, was using that information to blackmail Tom.
No way.
So you have theft, adultery, and blackmail all feeding each other. Everyone was holding a knife to everyone else's throat, all while, smiling at the narrator at Sunday dinner.
It's closed loop of toxicity. So, okay, he knows all of this. This is the pivot point. He could fire Tom. He could serve Sarah divorce papers.
Right, the standard option.
But he decides, no, I'm going to book the VIP horror room.
Right.
He actually pays the owner double to let him customize the clues.
And that detail, the financial investment, that's really significant. It speaks to this idea of gamification of trauma. He invites them, pretending it's for his 30th birthday. The invitation actually said, "Come celebrate my birthday. It's a game about trust."
A game about trust? That is diabolical.
It's so strategic. He's acting totally happy, totally normal, knowing he's about to walk them into an ambush.
But let's pause on the why. Why do this? Why not just confront them?
Because it's a strategy of isolation and control.
Yeah.
Think about it. If he confronts them one by one, out in the world, they can lie. They can gaslight him. Sarah can say, "It's not what it looks like."
And Tom can cook the books to hide the theft.
Exactly. But if he traps them together in a controlled environment where he has all the information and the key, he flips the power dynamic.
Yeah.
He's not destroying them himself. He's winding them up and letting them destroy each other.
He's outsourcing the conflict. It's brutally efficient. So let's get into the room. They all arrive. They go into the VIP horror room. And right away, the narrator says,
"I need to use the bathroom." The oldest trick in the book.
and that's it. The trap springs. He leaves, the door locks, and suddenly his voice comes over the speakers. He's not the husband anymore. He's the game master. And he says, "To escape, you must admit the truth."
Chilling. Just chilling. And then clue number 1 drops from the ceiling. And it's not a plastic skull or a riddle, it's a piece of paper.
A bank document.
A bank document. This is the first strike, and he goes for the money first. It's a record of a $50,000 transfer from the company account to an offshore casino.
And the reactions are so telling. Dave, the brother, he's laughing. He thinks it's a prop. Like, wow, great production value.
He's clueless. But Tom turns white as a ghost.
He knows.
He knows exactly what it is, and this is the cruelty of the game's design. To open the first box, the code isn't a number. The player has to read the information on the document out loud.
Oh, wow. So he's forcing Tom to verbally confess to the other two?
Yes. It's not enough to find the clue. You have to own the sin. You can just imagine the pressure. The timer's ticking down. Sarah's yelling, "Just read it, we're running out of time," and she has no idea what she's asking him to do.
It's a version of the prisoner's dilemma.
It is. And the pressure works. Tom breaks. He says, "I, Tom, stole $50,000. And click. The box opens.
And just like that, the alliance is fractured. Tom looks right at the camera with pure hatred. He knows the narrator knows.
But Dave and Sarah are still mostly confused. They're probably thinking, okay, Tom's a thief, that's intense. But they see themselves as spectators to Tom's downfall. They don't get that they're on the chopping block, too.
But look at the pacing. The narrator didn't just expose the money to punish Tom. He did it to put Tom on edge. A cornered animal is dangerous.
And he's about to use that aggression against the others. He's weaponizing Tom.
Because inside that first box is the next clue. And it's a photograph.
A photo of 2 cars parked next to each other at a motel. One is Sarah's car. The other is Dave's.
Oof. The silence in that room. Sarah gasps as she tries to hide it. But Tom is already full of adrenaline, angry, just humiliated.
He's not letting her hide anything, and this is the genius of the sequence. If the affair was revealed first, Tom might have stayed out of it, but now he wants someone else to bleed. He snatches the photo.
And he connects the dots first. Wait, Sarah and Dave, you guys are together.
And that's when the physical fight starts. Tom shoves Dave. It's chaos. And right then, the narrator, sitting in his booth, chimes in with the unlock condition.
A question.
A devastatingly personal question, the voice asks. "Where were you on the night of our anniversary?"
That is ice cold. He isn't just asking for a place. He's forcing his wife to admit that on the night she was supposed to be celebrating their marriage, she was with his brother.
It strips away any possible defense. She can't say it was a one-time thing. The date proves the cruelty. She just breaks down, crying, and admits, "I was with Dave." And then, click. The second door opens.
So, okay, let's look at the board. The room is in shambles. Tom hates the narrator, but he also hates Dave. Sarah is destroyed. Dave is exposed. Everyone is screaming at everyone else. You'd think, okay, game over. Point made.
But he's not done, and this is where the deep dive gets into the psychology of a scorched earth policy. He doesn't just want a tragedy. He wants total destruction. He needs to make sure they can never, ever form an alliance against him again.
He needs them to hate each other more than they hate him.
Exactly. It's strategic isolation. So there's one final clue, a poster, and this one is for Dave. Because up to now, Dave is the lover, right? A scumbag for sure. But the narrator has one more card to play, something even Sarah doesn't know.
Okay.
The question is, did Sarah know about Dave's other secret? And the clue is a huge printout of a text message thread.
Between Dave and who?
Between Dave
Yeah.
and Jessica.
Okay, I've lost track of the web here. Who is Jessica?
Jessica is Tom's wife.
Oh my God. So Dave wasn't just sleeping with his brother's wife.
He was also sleeping with his business partner's wife. Both of them. And this is the match that just burns the whole house down, because now Tom is looking at the man who is sleeping with his wife.
And the source material calls this a total brawl.
It is. Tom lunges at Dave, screaming, "You were with Jessica too!" Dave is trying to defend himself, saying he's a ladies' man.
A ladies' man. Wow. And Sarah's just sobbing because she realizes she wasn't even special to Dave. She was just another conquest.
It's total chaos. And the narrator has successfully turned them into mortal enemies. He outsourced his revenge to the victims themselves.
So what's the end game? The door just opens.
Well, the narrator gets on the microphone one last time. He says, "Congratulations, you have found all the truths. The door is unlocked."
That's the catch.
There is a parting shot. He says, "I sent the video of this game to all your spouses."
Which means he sent it to Jessica, Tom's wife.
Now, the source clarifies he hadn't actually sent it yet. But the threat is what matters. It creates panic. It means they can't go home. He's removed their safe harbors.
So what does he do? Does he wait for them?
No. His exit is so clean, it's chilling. While they're still inside screaming at each other, he just walks out of the building, drives home, packs a bag. And this is my favorite detail. He takes the dog.
You have to take the dog. The dog is innocent.
Exactly. And then we get the final scorecard. It is just brutally efficient. Tom ends up in jail for the embezzlement.
And Sarah?
Divorced. And because of the undeniable proof of everything, the narrator pays zero alimony.
And Dave, the ladies' man.
Dave is apparently in hiding. Tom is still looking for him.
And what's the narrator's final take on all this?
He says he spent $500 on the room rental, and he calls it the best investment of my life.
$500 to sever 3 toxic relationships and avoid years of messy legal battles. I mean, from a purely economic standpoint, that's an incredible return on investment.
It is. But if we step back, this whole deep dive, it raises this really complex question about justice versus revenge. You know, he didn't just leave. He gamified their pain. He turned it into entertainment for himself.
It's that eating popcorn detail that really sticks with you. He wasn't crying in the booth. He was enjoying it.
Right. It suggests a level of detachment that is almost as chilling as the betrayals themselves. He didn't just want to be free. He wanted to humiliate them, to prove he was smarter than the circle of snakes. He went from victim to predator.
It's a masterclass in psychological warfare. He used the truth as a weapon. Every single clue was a fact. He didn't lie once.
He just forced them to stop lying. And that's the real irony of the escape room of truth. The only way out was to destroy their lives as they knew them. The truth didn't set them free. It imprisoned them.
It really makes you think about the secrets people keep. They thought they were getting away with it. They never imagined the person they were deceiving was just watching them on a monitor, waiting for the right moment.
Yeah, it definitely changes how you look at an escape room invitation from now on. If the theme is confess your sins, maybe just stay home.
Right. If I get an invite that says, let's play a game about trust, I am busy that night. I am very, very busy.
A wise policy.
So that is our deep dive into the escape room of truth. A story of betrayal, brilliant planning, and a $500 investment that changed 4 lives forever. We'll be back next time with another deep dive. Until then, keep your friends close.
And maybe check who has access to the control room.
See you next time.